A viewer named Carl left a comment on our last investigation. He says he drives a 1987 Chevrolet pickup with 340,000 miles on it. No touchscreen, no Wi-Fi, no camera pointing at his face. When Carl gets in that truck, he puts the key in the ignition, turns it, and it starts. The truck does not scan him. It does not decide whether he is allowed to drive. It just starts. Now picture the car you're about to buy, a 2027 model, gleaming, full of technology. Before that car moves 1 inch, it samples the air around your face, analyzes the way your eyes are moving, runs your biometric data through a software algorithm, and renders a verdict. If the software disagrees with you, the car stays parked. There is no officer to look you in the eye. There is no human being making that judgment. There is only code, and its decision is final. Adding that system to your car will cost the manufacturer between $500 and $2,000. You will pay for it in the purchase price, and then it will decide whether to let you drive. This is not a proposal, it is federal law. It was buried on page 2197 of a 2,702-page spending bill, passed in 2021, with no public debate. It is called Section 24,220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. An effort to stop it just failed in Congress by a vote of 164 to 268. In this investigation, we are going to expose 3 systems being quietly built into your next vehicle. The impairment kill switch that can ground your car based on an algorithm's guess. The driver monitoring camera that watches your face every time you turn the key. And the data pipeline that has already been caught selling your driving records to raise your insurance premiums. The Federal Trade Commission has signed the enforcement order on that last one. The documents are public. The first villain on our list is the mandate nobody told you about. For as long as Americans have owned cars, the relationship was simple. You buy it, you own it, and you decide when it moves. The ignition responded to a key and nothing else. There was no third party in that transaction, no algorithm, no software making a judgment about your fitness to drive before allowing you to leave your own driveway. That relationship ends with Section 24,220, signed into law in November 2021 as part of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Section 24,220 directs the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to mandate what the law calls advanced drunk and impaired driving prevention technology in every new passenger vehicle sold in America. The system must operate passively. You do not blow into a tube. The system runs in the background, monitoring you whether you notice it or not. And if it determines you are impaired, it must prevent or limit the operation of your vehicle. No field sobriety evaluation, no probable cause, no human being making a call. The judgment is made by software, and the consequence is imposed before you can say a word. Here is the engineering problem they cannot solve. This technology has been in development since 2008. That is 18 years of federally funded research under a program called the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety. In 2020, a progress report from NHTSA documented test results from 579 sober drivers. 10 of them received false positive readings. That is a 1.73% false positive rate. When you scale that to roughly 17 million new vehicles sold in the United States every year, that number translates into hundreds of thousands of drivers who cannot start their car on a given morning because a sensor made an error. Technical documentation from NHTSA categorizes a false positive as a harmful outcome that would inconvenience the driver. That is the language they use to describe you being stranded in a parking lot because a breath sensor malfunctioned. NHTSA was required by law to finalize this rule by November 2024. They missed that deadline. Their 2024 report to Congress said they were working diligently. No rule was issued. automakers themselves